Talk to me about what basketball and NBA culture do for you and why you love it so much.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I love the game. I love what it did for me growing up. Not just playing, but watching. I just watching with my dad and my brother and my mom, sitting in the living room, loving the Knicks, pulling so hard for the Knicks. I guess it connects to my father liked the Knicks, so I want my dad happy. So I'd be like, and I'd get so into it. And then my uncle lived in the same building as Phil Jackson in New York, so we went to the Garden, met Phil, got to see Clyde, got to see Earl the Pearl and like it's like been a part of my house,
Yeah.
and so being a Knicks fan, and we weren't allowed to like the Celtics. I grew up near Boston. Every kid wore this Celtic pom pom hat. I had the Knicks hat on. It didn't go over well, and then so I had to like dig in and be like, no, 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 you can't disagree with my dad. I like the Knicks, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a hostile place to grow up and be a Knicks fan, but just meant a lot on that end. Then just playing hoop, I did your basic. I was never great, but
Yep.
as I got older, I got worse and worse. When I was a little kid, they thought I was awesome. I
Yep.
played CYO, church league. I was on the JCC team. Then I was on St. Catherine's, St. Joe's. I was on every team who would take me. And before you had to be strong, I was pretty good because I could hit my shots. Then when the guys started getting stronger and banging and stuff, then I started being like, "Ooh, maybe I'm not meant for this." But I've played my entire life, always played.
It's when you love the sport and play it, and if you are self-aware, you can gauge when your time is up. And
Yeah, that's
right?
good, man. That's good. Well, I think because my dad and mom gave me so much confidence, I couldn't understand that I wasn't going to be as good as these other guys. So because they said I was great, and then I would start getting older and 14, 15, and guys were when I was on my high school team, I never played. And I'd
Yeah.
be sitting there going, "What the hell is the matter with the coach, man? I'm incredible. My dad said so." But then I look back at it, I go, "Yeah, no, these guys were better than me, and that was that."
Yeah. Well, so I we have a scripted series on another network, and basketball is at the center of it. And I know how hard it is when you're making a sports program to kind of keep up that authenticity, especially with something that you care so much about, and the NBA, which is so mainstream. Going into this,
Yeah.
what part of that was not nerve wracking, but was something you were really cognizant of, how the basketball had to be portrayed?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we knew first of all LeBron's involved. You knew that was going to open many doors to people participating. You knew that we were. I see movies. I see a baseball movie, a guy playing a baseball player. I see him throw the ball, and I go, "Oh my God, he doesn't play baseball, and he's playing
Yeah.
a superstar." It doesn't make any sense. But this, we just wanted to feel real, raw, like what you see on a playground, what you see when the superstars actually play together, the feeling of that. Somehow Wancho read it and auditioned, and just for fun, and then the guy happened to be like this incredible actor. It was so natural, and then I knew Wancho a little bit from the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, and I was like, that guy, he's smooth. He's got a
Yeah.
great shot. And then you just realize when a guy's an NBA player, he's going to be able to do anything. I
Yeah.
mean, we played with Boban. He was taking it up the court looking like a stud. Like, oh, I played ball with Shaq years ago, and he was a point guard when he was young. And so when he had the ball and he was going up, they still are smooth, even though that's not their
Yes.
position. So, anyways, I knew there was a lot of dribbling stuff to do, but I knew Wancho would be incredible at that, and
Yeah.
he was. And just everybody in it could play for real.
Yeah.
Dell
Yeah.
Demps and Mike Foster. They went around and they found guys who wanted to be in it, and a lot of guys were either Division One guys or overseas guys or NBA guys, and all
Yeah.
the NBA guys who showed up were pretty damn great.
Yeah, I love when Boban waves off Trey Young.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
also, so you brought in front office personnel, Del Demps and these guys to
yes.
scout just your extras and everything.
Yes, yes, yes. They made it. They were because they take it serious. It made our jobs easier. I didn't have to ever say, "Now, come on, this guy.
Yeah,
he's not the level." They were very honest with everything. Just going, there's no way that guy would be out there with those guys, and they were just very picky at finding legit guys who could. Every extra who played on the team, everybody was sick. They were
yeah,
unbelievable. You couldn't beat. I couldn't come close to playing with any of them.
yeah,
It was very authentic. So and that made the director Jeremiah Zager. He shot it really cool. He made it
yeah.
look real, like the real deal. But his job was much easier. The fact that nobody out there was gonna foul up. You didn't have to wait for a guy to hit the shot. They were hitting four
They were
and
hitting
five
it.
shots. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was pretty sick, man. When we were in Spain, we did a with the Spanish national team, and I'm doing a scene with the coach and throwing the ball out there, and everybody I threw it to would be like, 15 feet, poof, 20 feet, poof, and it was easy.
that's a good way to cut down production costs, man. One
Yeah,
take.
exactly. Moving on. He
Yes,
hit five in a row again. Yeah, Wancho was hitting every shot.
this shot
Sick,
looks
man.
beautiful, man. Who
Yeah,
is
yeah.
who was there an inspiration for Stanley?
My dad is Stanley. He was Stanley Sandler, and everybody loved my dad, and he coached all my teams. And I thought of him a lot when I was doing Stanley. Just the fact that he always gave himself to whoever he was coaching, and never. There wasn't a thing about my character that was kind of like, I wish I was out there playing. He's just going, yeah, I don't belong out there with these guys. He just was like, how do I make this one particular guy think straight, push him the hardest I can push him, and know that he's got someone who loves him, backing him up. That was kind of like my dad.
I mean, making a parallel to like a CEO of a big enterprise who started as a founder, when you were Adam Sandler in the beginning, I'm sure you wore every hat there was. And as you've now become Adam Sandler that you are today, when you start a film like this, do you still have the same mentality of a level of micromanagement and a level of wearing every hat and still being in on the writing and the directing and every bit of
Yeah.
it?
This one, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing movies lately where I join a director or writer's his vision. They ask me to be in it, and I say, "Yeah, let's go. I'll do what you want me to do." But this one was LeBron and Maverick and also Joe Roth. These guys, they own the script. I like the idea. It was written well. But then once I jumped in, I saw this movie, We the Animals, and I said, that director's awesome, man. And he just happened to be from Philly, happened to be a big Sixer fan. So we were jamming on it. Then Will Fetters, this guy I got introduced to, he wrote some great stuff. Born to Be a Star, and just met him, and he was a big dude, played hoop himself, and he knew everything about every team, a big Lakers fan. We just got together and we just were excited. All three of us
Yeah.
were excited about making it as real, as deep as we could, and legit. And then the fact, LeBron, his company is involved. Every phone call you make with the NBA's going to be legitimized.
Yes.
They knew it wasn't. We weren't goofing on it. We were trying to make a raw, real movie.
Yep. I mean, you have a hoop movie and LeBron James is making calls. That's it's game
Yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah. That's a biggie. That's a biggie. Yes.
And your no look passes definitely went viral last year. People know you're a savvy point guard, man.
I have to tell you the truth, man. I've seen some of that footage. There's better footage out there, man. I have. There's been better passes. There's been better behind the backers, but there's also been some of the worst basketball playing you've seen by me. So I'm glad that's not out there either.
Yes,
I end up being okay.
That could have easily cemented that you weren't a hooper. So you're lucky. Definitely lucky.
I'm very lucky, man. I know there's 1,000 guys out there going, he's not that good, man. I destroyed him.
Yeah. So I pointed this out yesterday when I watched the film that, like, obviously we grew up. Well, I don't want to say grew up. We're only 10 years apart. I'm going to make you feel old, but I've been watching your films my entire life, and there's films that we all relate to. There's films that we all repeat when we're out, and lines that we know. And if I could say, if everyone had like 1 second to explain who you were, they would say you were this like generational comedic actor. But in reality, when I watch you do these down and out type characters, to me, it's flawless. Did you always feel like you could act both drama and comedy, or have you evolved to this actor, do you think?
Man, that's. Thank you for saying that. And I went to NYU. I was in acting school. I knew I wanted to be a comedian. I would sit and watch the other guys and the guys and the ladies who were in my class, and I'd watch them act, and I knew they were better at the drama than me. And I would watch them and say, man, that's pretty cool. I think I could do that though. One day I'll get to that. But I was kind of focused on being a comedian. But back in my head, I was always like, one day I'll do that. We'll see. Let me just go after. I kind of wanted to be Eddie Murphy. You know, I wanted that was like the goal. And then somehow, in the back of my head, I was like, maybe I'll do something that's not goofy comedy one day. Somehow throughout that, so I got offers to do these interesting movies that these guys believed in me so much. And they said, I wrote it for you. I see you doing this. And that kind of gave me like, all right, let's go. Let me jump in there and try to be as good as I can be for if they believed in me, I don't want to let them down.
You know, as I've grown my business and as I've met other people who are incredible at their craft, what I think has separated some of the people I've been fortunate to be around, when I see how Jay-Z interacted with people from the very beginning, or see how Kevin is when he interacts with people, you know, the great ones who are also kind and considerate are the ones that ultimately become the true successes. And the reputation that you've gotten from people that I've met that know you, that have nothing to do with you as an actor, is how kind you've been in Hollywood. That's got to be A, hard, but B, do you pay attention to the fact that in getting what you want, you've realized that doing it your way and being kind and not having to conform is why you've been so successful?
Oh man, I mean, it was kind of drilled in my head to be a good person, and when I'm not a good person, I'm not great every time. I make some silly, quick mistakes, and my wife calls me on it, and my parents certainly always called me on it. Everybody in the family, but I don't know. I know, you know, I was thinking about this week because my daughter just got bat mitzvahed. We had this awesome time. I saw all my old friends from growing up were out there, and I was like, I got a good life, man. I lucked out. I just got to. I get to think of something. I get to write it. I get to do it. I don't know. I really couldn't ask for a better place for that. And I am happy to be nice to people. I'm happy that I'm on these sets. I'm happy that anyone who's working, I know it's good to work. Yep. In our business, it's rough out there. When you're not working, you're not making money, you ain't paying rent. It's rough. So whenever I can, feels great to be around people I love and make sure that we're all working together. Yep. I don't know, man. I lucked out big. And like you said, on the streets, man, you say hi to me, I love you. I'm right back. I'll hang out with you. As quick, you know, I can't be there forever because I got a family, but or sometimes I got to hit and run because I'm walking my daughter down the street and I don't have time to talk to somebody too long. But most of the time, I try to be good.
Yep. You know, I'll tell you something funny. There's a part in the doc we did on Point Guards where these guys talk about how they practice their handles going through traffic in New York, the streets of New York, sidewalks. So last year I'm walking down Madison Avenue, and there you are.
That's hilarious, man. I bet it was up on 80th and Madison because my kids and wife were in a store looking at clothes, and I'm like, I ain't going in there, and I just start dribbling out.
That's exactly where you were, and you were crossing and shaking, and I was
That's hilarious, man. It wasn't that smooth, was it? I'm telling you, Vesey, he shows me shit to do. And I'm like, I can't do that, man. These guys bend, they get to the ground, so I can
Oh
hardly
my
touch my
God.
knees, man.
Well,
Are you
you
still
had
able to
it.
move it?
I mean, in slow mo, but as soon as I have to pick up the speed, the game and the skill erodes quick.
That's
Um,
funny, man.
so last question, and I'll really let you go. For me, when I walk away from a film, there's a multitude of things that I want to get out of it. But when I can find a film that I'm going to keep watching, that I know that every time I scroll through Netflix or I'm on a plane or anytime I happen to see it on cable, there's those films, and you have probably 50 of them. But this one for me is that beyond the fact that it's actually like a very compelling film, I think you really did a great job representing a world that I'm accustomed to every day, and it is real, and it's hard to make something real that is so close to everyone else, and you did a really good job of that.
Man, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, it's a movie. There's
Yeah,
nothing you can do. At times, you got to hit plot points, and you got to say this happened, and you got to devise the scene to make that happen, even on the court. But we tried to make it as real as you can, and what you would see, and how you would block a shot, and how you would get your pocket picked, and that we try to be as smooth as we can. The guys in it all did it legit. I don't know. I mean, they just made it all look real, because when you tell, you know, it was funny. Anthony Edwards had to get a jam blocked by Juancho, and he
yeah.
kept going, "Oh man, you know, Juancho, you couldn't do that," like that kind of stuff. And Juancho's like, "Yeah, you know." They would talk back and forth shit. It was funny, and then finally, he let himself get in a position that Juancho could block a jam, but he certainly didn't want to do that, man.
Yes. Well, Anthony Edwards has got star appeal across
What a
the board.
superstar. Yeah, what a great dude,
Yes.
man. So funny.
Yeah, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you so much, and special shout out for making Queen Latifah your wife in the film, man. Come on, that was
The
incredible.
best. What a lady. We had fun together. She's a great person. I know her for a long time. I'm glad we got to do that.
All right, well, Hustle, congratulations. Everybody go watch it, download the Boardroom. Adam, I'll speak to you soon.
Later. Good to see you. I'll say hi to the Moscow boys.
I will for sure. All right, talk to you soon.